podcast, the Square Podcast. My name is Braden Inman. I'm your host, and I have two special co-hosts with me today. Normally, I have my sidekick, my partner in crime here, Kyle Brentlinger.
Hey.
He's a staple on here, you could say, but we have a special guest with us this week, Patrick Thomas Halloran. Can we get a round of applause for Patrick? So, Patrick is typically on the editing side of things, but he wanted to join us this week, and we are quite blessed and quite lucky to have such a strong-willed, intelligent Tiger Cub senior with us. Handsome, yeah. I mean, peak masculinity. But Patrick, how is editing? Can you kind of walk us through your process with editing?
I mean, it kind of takes a while. You gotta cut everything together.
How many days would you say on average it takes you to edit a whole episode?
Usually two.
Two.
I can get it done in one, but
it would take a bad editor 4 days, but he's efficient, he's intelligent, he knows his stuff.
Smart.
And he gets 2 days.
Strong, independent.
He is strong and independent, that's right. Strong and independence, independency, that's a big one. Independency. We are in the second semester of our senior year. You need to develop independency before we go off, but how is your guys' second semester of your senior year going?
pretty well.
Pretty well?
Grades are okay.
All your classes easy?
No.
No? I mean, that's right. I like that you're challenging yourself before you go off to college, not taking a cupcake schedule, as some would call it. But what is your hardest class your second semester?
Probably pre-calc.
Pre-calc? Definitely, I can see
I
that.
agree.
Kyle, is that your pick?
Yep, that's also my pick.
Are you two up to date with all your assignments, though, all your homework
Yes.
and all classes? All 7 classes.
Yes, I am.
I'm proud of you guys. You know, no senioritis over here. Just hard work. And you're gonna finish off the semester strong, aren't you? You're gonna
Hope so.
graduate in May, walk across that stage, and you'll be done. And that'll be our closed book on our high school journey. And that's what it is. It's a journey.
It is.
And you start it and you end it. That's how it is. No need to get emotional about it. Talking about emotions run high this time of year. And why is that? It's the 29th, which means we are 16 days. No, I can't do math. 17 or 16 days away from Valentine's Day, February 14th. Kyle, is anybody in your life that you've got something special for you this year?
Not this year, sir.
Not this year? Not yet? Not the stuff I saw in your van this morning in the passenger seat? Not those chocolates aren't for...
What are we talking about here, buddy?
There weren't anything in your passenger...
Fake news.
He's lying.
Fake news.
Patrick, do you have a special someone?
I do not.
You don't?
Unfortunately, no.
Sure.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure.
Okay.
If we were to fact check that, Patrick Thomas Halloran over here would be proven a liar.
Yep.
But we don't do fact checks here. But you know what is fact? Who the best Batman is. The best Batman? Adam West.
It's a fair pick. I like the sound effects, the
We trolling?
bam, the
We might be doing a little bit of trolling. But in all seriousness, I probably enjoy the 60s Batman show more than I enjoy like other, I guess, Batman shows they've put out there. Like the animated series, it's cool, but they kind of have this...
great.
The storyline just kind of gets repetitive after a while. Like
So great.
the Joker taking a girl on a train like in the 1960s. You don't get that stuff. You don't get Bat Shark repellent.
That is true.
I guess here's my opinion on Batman with movies and shows.
Okay.
I think the best Batman is Pattinson.
I agree.
I think the best Bruce Wayne is Christian Bale.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
I agree with that.
think it's kind of like the Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland,
Okay. Yeah.
that argument. So do you guys have any other opinions on that, or you guys just agree with me because I'm normally always right?
I mean, you are right.
yeah,
In this
you're right.
case.
I mean-
so I will have to agree with you here.
I just think Ben Affleck just tried too hard to be Ben Affleck and not
I
Batman.
didn't.
I feel like he
mind his
could have
Batman.
been a good Batman, but
Yeah.
he just had bad writing.
Yeah.
Who was that? What's that storyline where it's like Thomas Wayne's Batman? You know what I'm talking about? Like where...
That is Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint. I think he'd be a good Flashpoint Batman. Like where Thomas Wayne. Yeah, I know my stuff. You could say
Okay.
you could say well-rounded over here. You know what else gets a well-rounded education? Liberal arts degree. That's what Patrick's getting. But that's all we have for you now. So stay tuned for a little segment I have with Camacho on the upcoming Super Bowl.
Another one.
So welcome to our open segment today. We have a special guest, Kyle Brentlinger.
Yeah.
Actually, we have Camacho. Camacho, thank you for your time. It is third period, so we do steal him from a class, so we thank you for your time. Thank you, gym class, for letting us steal him. But you know what we're here to talk to you about.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl. predictions right now. Who do you think wins? Eagles or Chiefs?
I just think it's really hard to beat the Chiefs.
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and say Chiefs. Last year they played 2 years ago, 38-35?
Yep.
I'm going to say Chiefs, maybe a little lower scoring game. I'll say 28-17, 28-21.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are capable of keeping it close.
Think we'll see a Carson Wentz trick play?
I wouldn't count anything out. They're going to need it.
Remember that Carson Wentz Broncos game?
Mm-hmm.
That was brutal. So you're choosing the Chiefs?
I got Mahomes and Andy Reid right now.
That's right. That's who I'd ride with. Kyle, who are you riding with?
Give me the Chiefs to win 34-31.
Oh.
He's a Giants fan, so he's a little salty towards Saquon.
Let's go Chiefs. Please win.
So moving on from the Super Bowl, did you see that clip of the new Jaguars coach, Liam Cohen? Duval. It's so.
I did see that.
That's brutal. They're going 3-14.
That's generous.
I
You think
I
Liam
don't
Cohen
know.
can awaken Trevor Lawrence? I mean, AFC South is the
Generational
hardest division in
prospect?
football. So.
I mean, they got a pretty good quarterback. They got some good receivers. If Chris and Kirk can come back, they got 2 decent running backs, a good tight end. I mean, surely they're capable of doing something in the AFC.
I mean, surely Anthony Richardson will give him trouble next year, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. probably 3 touchdowns when they play.
Josh Downs, don't forget him.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, white boy in 14.
Jonathan Taylor.
Bring
That's all
back
you need.
Bring back Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco will dog on him.
I think you guys should re-sign him.
Nope. Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Tell me we shouldn't have a training camp battle with Justin Fields and Anthony
He's not leaving
Richardson.
Pittsburgh. I don't think he is.
I hope not.
Bring me Russell Wilson then.
He's not leaving either.
You can have him. We'll let you take him.
I mean, anything's better than tap out gate. I mean, that was brutal. I mean, Pat McAfee dog walked him for that.
It's the first time I ever saw something like that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I saw Kyle do it in 6th grade youth basketball once, but he did drop 40
So,
points.
sometimes you need a sub, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think he might have subbed in. Who'd you sub in?
Anthony Adams.
Anthony Adams. Okay, I mean, I kind of thought you guys two be like the front court together, but. So, final question for you. It's probably the most important question we're going to ask.
All right.
Colts in the playoffs next year?
Not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance.
We have biased media over here.
Yeah.
Somebody's been reading too much Greg Doyle. Dan Dakic or whatever his name. Dakic? You know what I'm talking about?
I think they need to get rid of everybody.
One more year. Lou Anarumo from the Bengals.
Ooh.
Only Steelers, man.
Secondary, watch Kenny Moore become the best nickel back in the league.
He's pretty solid. I'd like to have him on the Steelers, so I can say that. He's pretty solid.
He's good.
He's not going to the Steelers.
No, I would like if he did. You know what I mean?
He's not
That's
leaving
why I
Indy.
can cheer
He's
him
not
on.
leaving Indy. Nope. You know what? Tear it apart
Probably not.
and make Kyle Brillinger our quarterback.
Yep.
Maybe you could be quarterback.
You don't want me.
I mean, can you throw 5 yards?
Yeah. Pretty accurate 5 yards, I'm not going to lie.
You're not going to sail it out of bounds?
Nope.
Can you slide?
I can dive.
Head first?
Always.
Are you going to hit that little groove dance like Jane Daniels against the Eagles?
Hey, if I get a first down.
You're a dance on a first down?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Little tiptoe dance?
Son. Small celebrations, man.
Small celebration, that's right. You gotta appreciate the little things in life, Camacho.
Little things.
You know, we appreciate you coming on here. Let's get a round of applause for Camacho giving us his time.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
Have a good day, Camacho.
You too.
Welcome back to the news segment. This is a good day to be here. Good here to be with Kyle and Matumbe. Matumbe, thanks for joining us on this episode.
Of course.
We know your schedule's a little busy, so
It's
I'm glad we
so busy.
could sneak our way in.
Yes, coordinating.
And like I
Appreciate
said,
it. Appreciate it.
yeah, I know. Actually, thank you for your time. We're actually really appreciative.
I know.
So let's talk about what's going on at the Greencastle High School here in Greencastle, Indiana. So shout out. So you can see where we kind of are real quick. Why don't you pan that way? Yeah. E-Gaming Team. Can we just get a round of applause for the E-Gaming Team real quick?
What a
I
squad.
tell you what, there's a new dynasty coming at Greencastle. Shout out Coach Parker Black. Shout out
Brandon
star
Monroe.
player. I mean, Brandon Monroe he's probably like the superstar.
He is the LeBron James of the esports team.
We might have a E-Gamer here with us right now.
We do.
Kyle, who is that, Kyle?
Mutombe.
Matumbe Odolipo.
Mutombe.
Shout out Matumbe.
Not Sayuki.
Matumbe is a key part of the e-gaming team.
I do coordinate the Fortnite team.
He coordinates the
There we
Fortnite
go.
team.
Yep.
Shout out the Fortnite team with Aiden Woods. I heard that they are 3-0.
Yep.
They are
Undefeated.
undefeated. They are undefeated. You know, inaugural season, they're 3-0. I think that says a lot about the culture that Parker Black is building for this team. And I'm in all of it. I really am. So let's make it 4-0, 4-0, gentlemen. Sorry, I said Oreo for some reason, but maybe it's because I'm hungry. Shout out lunch next period. You know what else is happening next? at Greencastle High School?
Oh, who do we have out
Mr.
there?
Wheeler. Shout out Mr.
Who do
Wheeler
we
real
have
quick.
out there?
to be in the video.
The man himself.
The man himself. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler, for your help with this podcast, and we hope we make you proud. You know what makes me proud? This career week we're having at Greencastle.
Ooh,
3rd to the 7th. Get employed after high school. There's a big 3 E's that I heard people follow:
Employment.
enrollment, employment, and enlistment. So, are you ready for what you're doing after high school?
I am ready.
I'm ready too. So we're locked. Zaire, you don't need to make that decision right yet, but
Can't just play Fortnite all day?
I mean, you might with the Z Gaming team. If we keep this
Exactly.
generation performance, you might get a scholarship. What else is happening at the high school? Well, let me tell you. Winter band concert, the 10th of February. 2 days after the choir concert, the 12th of February.
Right.
Shout out our Tiger Cubs. Let's make some music. Let's make some generational music performances.
Let's do it.
I think Greencastle is very good at being well-rounded and having talent in all aspects that we provide. So
100%.
shout out our. Do they have like a name, or is it just the choir or the band? Like I feel like they have like names or something. You know what? Who cares? Shout out. So unfortunately, the 17th of February is President's Day, and we won't be there because we had Martin Luther King Day off. So it was a built-in snow day, and we're going to be here on the 17th.
Unfortunately.
But talk about President's Day. You want to do a little segment of who our favorite president is, real quick?
Yeah, of course.
All right, you go first.
I got to say, my favorite president of all time. All right, probably lukewarm take here. I'm gonna have to go with Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson.
Yep.
Andrew Jackson. That is
All
certainly
right.
an interesting pick.
Interesting,
Not one
interesting.
I would choose, not one I would like or favor, or probably not even in heaven. But, Kyle, who's your pick?
This is a tough question, but I'm gonna have to go with Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt. That's right. That's right. The bull moose.
Mm-hmm.
It takes more than that to take down a bull moose. And mine?
Ronald Reagan.
Come here, James. Come here. Circle around the table real quick. Let me tell you who my favorite president is. A man by the name of
Oh,
George Washington, founding father, first
The
president,
GOAT.
general of the Continental Army.
the GOAT.
Another shout out, William Henry Harrison. He was territorial governor of Indiana. His house is actually in Vincennes. Ask Mr. Wilson about him. He did teach Indiana studies. Moving on from our favorite presidents, thank you guys for your contributions. That was really interesting. Really seeing how you guys think, who you guys idolize. You with Theodore Roosevelt. You with Andrew Jackson.
This embodies a lot of what I feel about this world.
That's certainly interesting. FFA Spirit Week, our new FFA program, through the 17th and the 21st. Shout out that.
Let's go.
Farming is very important, especially in an agricultural, rural community like ours. So the more we can do to help them, the better. And the one you guys have been waiting for on this paper, yeah. I don't even need this stupid script anymore. You know why? Winter Dance, February 21st.
Winter dance. Wow.
Look at the daily announcements for more on it, I assume. I assume there'll be more that comes out about it as, we get closer to the date, because we are recording this in January, the 31st. 31st.
Last day of the month.
That's right, last day of the month. You know what tomorrow is then?
First of the month.
First of the month, that's right. So you're going to see that Instagram post and that TikTok post that have
Yep.
been happening since my freshman year.
I love it.
I do too. I kind of like that. But you know what else I like? That Jags new head coach. Let's ask Camacho about that new head coach.
Duval.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second segment with Mr. Wilson. We are lucky to have him. Mr. Wilson, thank you for your time. Mr. Wilson, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Well, I'm just Danny now that I get to sit next to you.
Oh, perfect.
So I guess our first question is, has anything interesting happened since we last spoke?
Well, the major thing, if you haven't noticed, are the walls are blank. I'm doing a little different redecoration. So
James, show him around real quick. You can see a stark difference from last time we spoke because the flags. He's going through what we call rebranding in the classroom.
they'll be up soon. I just gotta do a little few things to them. So
Little technicalities, you could
yes,
say.
yes.
So, moving on, Tristan, would you like to start?
Yeah, Mr. Noah Wilson.
Whoa, it's Mr. Wilson. He's a teacher. Be professional.
Oh, apologies.
Oh,
When did you know that you wanted to teach high school history and government?
so I had a really good teacher my junior year of high school at Garin Catholic, Mr. Hazelhorst, and great name. And I just loved this class. So here's the thing about it, though, funnily enough, Garin Catholic being private and whatnot, we're not even going to get into that, but he taught his class like the AP class, or we had IB there. Ooh, different. It's a European version, if you don't know.
Okay.
But he taught his class kind of like AP style, and almost all the kids didn't hate him, but they just did not like the class because it was so hard. I thought it was easy.
Okay.
Next year, when I'm a senior, he does switch over to being the IB teacher because the actual IB teacher didn't do too good that year before. But I passed his class with an A, and I liked him so much in the class and everything that happened in it that I thought that I could be a teacher. So I go to Purdue. And fun fact about that, here's for all the Purdue IU people out there. I did get into both colleges. But here's the caveat. Here's why I went to Purdue for education, even though IU is technically better. They send me
You heard
a
that?
letter.
He said it was better. He said it was better.
They send me a letter for education. I want to make that clear. Oh, pause. They send me a letter saying that I'm directly admitted into the teacher of education program. 2 days go by, email. 2 days go by, I get another email, and it says, hey, ignore that letter. You actually weren't in the teacher program. You've just been, like, generally admitted. No, we're sorry. No, we apologize. Just,
Nice.
ignore the last letter. You actually didn't get in. Don't go to this thing that we had planned for the teacher education people.
Nice.
So I went to Purdue instead. I go to my first trip to Purdue, and originally I wanted to do, like, art, like 3D animation things for video games and whatnot. And I'm looking at the list. There's this room, at least back in the day at Purdue, had every single major in there for, like, the Welcoming Center. And I see the social studies education, and I think about Mr. Hazelhorse, and I go, you know what? Both my parents are standing there. I go, you know what? I think I'd also do social studies education too. And they're like, what? And I changed to social studies education when I became a freshman at Purdue.
Nice.
That's how it all went down.
Well, going to Purdue, at least you turned out semi-normal.
Semi-normal, that's
Correct.
right. Shout out Mr. Hazelhorst.
He also went to Purdue as well. I will say
Okay,
that.
okay,
yeah.
so there's kind of a
Okay.
pipeline going on. So I guess big takeaway, IU lost generational talent.
Exactly.
So I guess looking back on your few years of teaching already that you've already had, what would you say the best thing about teaching is?
Oh, the best thing about teaching, probably just interacting with all the kids and seeing when we get to something that they think is interesting, seeing how they react.
Sure.
Like just seeing like how great it is for them, and just like when they actually get something and how it finally clicks that this is what led to something in the present. That's probably the best thing about it.
Sure.
I
I
like
guess, do you have any like retrospective advice for anybody who wants to be a teacher?
You should be doing very well in school, and I will say just for social studies portion of this, definitely make sure you're involved. Usually most social studies teachers are going to be different, coaches for something, football, basketball, whatever.
Sure.
So it is not easy to get into the social studies side, so you have to really have either coach something or be really involved with the community. At least that's from my personal experience. Sure. I applied to 67 some odd schools before this one.
Wow.
Luckily, this is the only good thing about COVID is because of COVID, I did get this job. I do like that.
Sure.
But really, it's just you got to make sure that you're involved with the community and you just
Lock in.
lock in. Yes,
Lock
that's
in.
a great
Okay.
way of
That's
saying
right.
it. Yeah.
So,
Tristan.
oh,
Go ahead, Tristan.
all right.
Go
Sorry
ahead,
to
Tristan.
challenge the host over there. What is the hardest thing about being a teacher?
That's a good question. Probably all the different grading techniques. So, and when I say this based on like, I have to follow AP standards or next year. So here's a little thing going back to the IU stuff. I will be doing the IU classes next year for U.S. history and government. So I did get into IU this time.
Okay.
And now I will be a grad student by the summer. So
Congrats.
we are okay with IU. Just back then,
But they did fumble.
They did fumble, but they at least
They're
found
making up for their mistakes.
Exactly, they found the error of their ways. Where was I going with that? My gosh.
IU class.
That's right. So, you have to follow all the different grading procedures. AP has certain grading things. IU, I'm sure, will have certain grading procedures. And like having to balance all those things can get a little bit challenging at times. But other than that, really, I don't think it's that hard of a job.
Sure.
Okay.
I think personally, as being a student of yours for the past 3 years, shout out Indiana Studies.
Yes.
I think one of my favorite things is like the stuff you bring in.
Yeah.
Like I think it makes history feel tangible, if that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah.
like something that's like actually a part of what happened. What would you say is the most interesting thing that you have in your collection?
Ooh.
Mr. Wilson's little museum, you could say.
I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got stuff from the Revolutionary War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War. Probably the best. It's kind of a tie. I have a few things from Nuremberg from World War II, from the Nazis. Crazy, but it's a crazy piece of history. Other than that, it would probably be the 5-foot banner I have of Ho Chi Minh from the Vietnam War, which literally it's this giant banner, 5x5 of his face, and then Vietnamese writing that says pretty much Ho Chi Minh is the future of Vietnam.
Okay.
And
That's
it was
kinda tough.
trying to persuade the villagers to vote for him out in the countryside. That was the whole thing there. And so that's honestly one of the coolest things I probably own.
Sure.
But I like all my stuff. It's all so cool to look at.
That's pretty cool.
Is there one that stands alone as the favorite? Like everything else is getting thrown into a fire, and you can save one. You could save one piece. What would you save?
It would honestly, hold on, I gotta think about this. Dang near, it probably would be the Nuremberg one of 34 when they made Triumph of the Will.
Sure.
Because that's a big piece of World War II history, German history, because that's literally that Nuremberg rally is the one where they make the first major government-sponsored propaganda film, which pretty much helped create all future propaganda films, both across Europe and the U.S. I mean, we literally made a 7-part film series based off of Leni Riefenstahl's ideas in Triumph of the Will to persuade people to fight in World War II. That's how big it was. So having the stuff from that is probably one of the biggest things ever.
Sure. That's cool. Is that the stuff you brought in?
That's the stuff I brought in, yep,
Sure.
2 days ago.
Sweet. So now moving on from that to a few, I guess not rapid fire questions, but a few I wouldn't say less involved, but a little more just freelance. If you weren't teaching, what would you be doing?
Oh, probably if I could, and I think it's really hard to get into one of these jobs, but either some sort of work, archival work or something at a museum, or maybe even in DC if I could get into there.
Sure.
And if not that, I don't know. That's really what I would probably be doing would be
Sure.
archival work. I
So
do
still in,
that.
the history
Yeah,
field.
still in the history field.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you brought up DC, and you could also bring in Marvel to that. Do you have a favorite superhero or supervillain?
Oh man.
It's got to be something good.
Right. Man, so if I had to just think of one right now, probably can't go wrong, and it's probably very basic, but Batman is a really good
Take that,
one.
Kyle Brutling, or take that, Patrick Howard.
That's so basic, though.
We had a debate about who was better,
Yeah, you
Spider-Man
know
or
what?
Batman, and it's Batman.
If we're going beyond that,
Okay.
actually, I think DC did a comic book about this.
Okay.
RoboCop is another good one. I do like RoboCop. That's pretty powerful character, and I do think there was a comic made about him, so it does work out.
That's insane. That's an insane pick.
Wow.
I guess,
Okay.
do you have a favorite villain?
Villain?
And it can't be Tristan.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Oh, villains.
Can't go wrong with the Joker.
I was about to say Heath Ledger's Joker was pretty fire.
Not Jared Leto's.
Or
That
Jack
one also.
Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson's also a good one. Yeah.
Caesar Romero.
Other than that,
Who?
Was that his name? The one from the 60s?
Probably.
I can't remember.
I think I might have just
He's a
fumbled.
nobody.
Whoa, okay.
Also, I forget who made the films, but the Green Goblin with what's his face?
Willem Dafoe?
Yes, Willem Dafoe. That's
Okay.
a great one. That's another
Okay.
great one.
Oh,
Would
what
you
is
say Willem Dafoe with Spider-Man is your favorite movie of all time?
I would not say that.
Thank God.
My personal favorite movie, and I think I've told this to a few different classes, but I truly do like Prince of Egypt. It's one of the first DreamWorks films ever made. It's the reason why DreamWorks exists. They made both Ants, which is a major box office
It
death.
looked like a weird movie.
Yes, but they made that and Prince of Egypt at the same time. And the only reason DreamWorks really exists is because they asked Disney to do it. If you don't know what Prince of Egypt is, it's about Moses. They asked Disney to do it. Disney told them no, so they left and they made DreamWorks, and that's the reason why we had DreamWorks is because of that movie. And just they use both animation and 3D animation, hand-drawn animation and 3D animation. It's just a perfect piece of cinema. I just truly do love that movie, and the songs in it as well. Fantastic.
Okay.
So if you, like I said, every other movie ever is like getting thrown into like a compacting trash, like a trash compactor. Prince of Egypt, is that the movie you'd save?
Not the Iron Giant or anything
Iron Giant was
better.
pretty good too.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That was pretty good. But
Morbius?
if I had to,
A peak movie.
if I had to pick, honestly, can I think of any others? Honestly, I think I would choose that one. Yeah.
Sure. So, Mr. Wilson and Prince of Egypt, remember that. Every time you're watching The Prince of Egypt, remember who personally saved that movie from the trash compactor.
If we're talking about TV show, it would be definitely the original Clone High, if anyone knows what that is. I don't know if anyone knows. It's with JFK and all them. It's crazy.
I think I know what you're talking
Nothing
about.
bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Yeah, and like that like obnoxious Boston
Yes.
accent. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's a great show as well.
Well, Tristan, do you have any more questions over there?
No, I thought that was great.
Over there in California, no questions over there?
I mean, a little questionable opinions.
Whoa,
but
whoa.
like the Iron Giant is
Oh,
still
of
better
course,
cartoon. I'm telling you, that movie will make you cry.
It will.
No matter
They were
how-
supposed to make a second one, but they never did. I'm fairly certain.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the sad part.
Nobody cried enough.
I guess.
I cried enough.
Apparently.
Oh, I'm sure
I
you did.
cried.
I'm sure you made your pillow wet, dude. All right, so I think that's all for now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Wilson. I
You are
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Bring it
Oh,
here,
you
Mr.
also got
Wilson.
that.
Oh yeah.
And that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Once again, Braden Inman.
Kyle Browninger.
Patrick Halloran.
And that's all we have for you. But there is a word of the week. And we have decided upon council review that this decision will be given to Patrick Halloran this week. So Patrick, what would you say the word of the week is?
Batman.
Batman. Does Batman mean anything to you, or is it just a?
He's Batman.
Do you think he's the best superhero?
No.
That's a bad take.
Spider-Man better.
Spider-Man.
I strongly disagree with the two gentlemen next to me, but that's a conversation for another day, folks. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.